You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. The Brevard County Sheriff's Office has released dash cam video of last week's fatal shooting in Florida that left 2 black teenagers dead. Here's a video. We showed this yesterday. We want to show it to you again. Check this out.
Stop the vehicle. Stop the vehicle. Stop the vehicle. Stop. 1033. Stop the vehicle, goddammit. Stop. Stop.
Now, the teens identified as 16-year-old A.J. Crooms and 18-year-old Sincere Pierce were fatally shot by deputies who were conducting a stolen car investigation. A mother of one of the victims said her son got in the car with friends around 10 a.m. Friday, November 13th. He and his friends then started driving away when all of a sudden deputies pulled up behind them and told them to get out of the car. That's when she pleaded with the officers and begged them to not shoot her son. Officers ignored her pleas and then opened fire, killing the 2 teens. Both officers involved have been placed on administrative leave. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement is investigating the case, and Attorney Benjamin Crump will be representing both families. Joining us now to discuss this further is attorney and human rights activist Natalie Jackson. Natalie, first and foremost, was the car actually stolen?
No, the car was not stolen. We actually have interviews from the young lady whose car it was. Her A.J. Crooms was her boyfriend, and he was driving her car. And I think that's really, that starts where we need transparency in this case. The Sheriff's Department issued a statement after this happened on Friday. On Tuesday, the Sheriff's Department issued a statement saying that they were driving a probable stolen car. At that point, the sheriff knew that the car was not stolen. And I think that from there on, we've just kind of gone down a rabbit hole as far as what the community believes from the Sheriff's Department and if they're going to get a transparent and fair investigation.
So where did the stolen car line come from? Did somebody call it in to say the car was missing?
No, this car was never called in and reported missing. Apparently, and I don't even know if this is true, and that's the problem when you have a sheriff who issues a statement with a known falsity in it. You have to question everything else that he says. But apparently, they were doing an investigation of a stolen car, and they thought this was the car.
Whoa. They were doing an investigation, and they thought this was the car.
Yes.
So they decided to pull this car over. Now, we only see have they released the full dash cam video to show? So we have the dash cam video right here. Guys, go to this video here. This in-car camera. This is, now stop it right there. Stop it, freeze it. So the vehicle that they were, the 2 teens were driving, that's their car, correct?
That is A.J. Crooms, who was the driver. That is his girlfriend's car.
And he's driving his girlfriend's car. She's not in the car, right?
No, she's not in his car, but he's driving with her permission.
Right. And so, and whose driveway is he pulling into?
That's in a neighborhood. So what we do have is ring cam video from the neighbors, and surveillance videos from the houses of the neighbors. So Sincere Pierce, one of the teenagers who was killed, we have ring cam video from his house. He was picked up at his house, and 4 minutes later he was dead. So his mother saw the whole thing.
So AJ was driving. He picks up Sincere. They're going down the streets. Cops pull up behind them, and then they pull them over not far from Sincere Pierce's home.
Exactly.
Okay, roll the video, guys. So if you roll the video here, you see an officer getting out of the car. The car is backing up. Guns are drawn. So now here's what, guys, do me this favor. Do me this favor here. Can you roll the video back? Because here's what I'm trying to understand, Natalie. I didn't see police lights on.
Right.
So if I'm driving the car, I mean, I know it's two cops behind me, and if I don't see police lights on, guys, yeah, go. I want y'all to start and go back. I'm just trying to understand if I don't know the cops are behind. So when they pull into the driveway and back up, I don't know, who they're pulling over.
Well, even more so, Roland, is that this was not a high-speed chase. This was not the teens didn't commit any traffic violations. So when you're ordered to get out of your car at gunpoint, what do you think?
So here's my point. So right here, okay, freeze it right there. We just showed the video. Nowhere in this video were the lights flashing.
Exactly.
So the car pulls over, the car turns left. There's no, I would assume, I don't think there's any audio on here. It's not like they're on their speaker saying, police pull over. So the car pulls over, now roll the tape. They don't know, but I back up. All of a sudden, I'm backing up. Boom, she's got gun drawn.
Exactly. And what we know is that from seeing cases like Philando Castile, where he stopped and complied and still got shot. We've seen people who leave, they still get shot. So what is a young teenager supposed to do when they're faced at gunpoint with police officers yelling at them? What do? I think that what's really important here is the law. So let's talk about the law in this case. The law says that a police officer can fire into a vehicle if he's in fear that the vehicle will cause deadly harm to him or serious bodily harm. However, the law says if he can get out of the way, he should. So what we see in this video is that the police was never in harm's way. In fact, he shot Sincere, who was in the back seat, in the back of the neck and the chest. So, and we see all the gunshots on the front and the back and the side of the car. This officer, the car passed right by him. He was never in harm's way. Right,
and in fact, I'm trying to understand here. Guys, go to the video right here. They had backed out of the driveway. They're in the street right here. And then if y'all roll the video, if you actually take the video back, the cop, roll the video right there. So they pull over. The police officers are blocking the street.
Exactly.
So when he backs up, he's really driving to the next driveway. There's no place to go.
Exactly.
And again, I go back to this point here. So the cop right there on the left-hand side. You see the cop freeze it right there. The cop in the right-hand side car, I think it's a woman.
It is a woman.
It's a woman. She retreats behind her car.
Yes, and she did not fire her weapon either.
Right, but the point is, she retreats behind her car. The cop who fired his weapon on the left, he's standing in front of the car. When he's shouting, he could have done the exact same thing she did, which was retreat behind the car. So if you're thinking they're going to run me over, they're not. No, what does he do? Roll a video. He actually moves forward to the car and then fires into the car.
Right, and follows the car and continues to fire into the car as he's following it.
Wow.
And that is what, and Roland, I want to make sure we understand, this is a 16-year-old boy that died and an 18-year-old boy that died. And these are boys who, Sincere, like I said, he had just left his mother's house 2 to 4 minutes prior.
That is beyond sad.
And all of this was in Sincere's neighborhood. All of this that happened was in his neighborhood. It is very sad. And I will tell you, the thing that I'm most worried about in this case is when people say, why didn't they just stop? Because as a young black or brown man in a disadvantaged neighborhood, when police pull up on you with guns drawn and you have done nothing, there is a fight or flee mentality there. What do? We've seen this over and over again. So I'm flabbergasted when people ask me, why didn't they just stop?
This here's some video that's on Twitter. There were protests that took place yesterday there in Brevard County. Folks are certainly still outraged by this. Natalie Jackson, we appreciate it. Certainly keep us updated on this case.
Thank you, Roland. I appreciate you being the truth seeker and helping us with this.
All right, thanks a bunch. Go to my panel here. This, Erica, is so disturbing because again, it goes to police action. It goes to decision making. It goes to you're pulling somebody over allegedly for a stolen car. We find out no, there was no stolen car. Now, two young brothers are dead. One 16, one 18.
Woo. Yeah, this is not getting any easier. And for anyone that is related to those families, my sincerest condolences, because these are two Black children who had promise over their life. But again, we see actions by the state who are birthed out of slave patrols since 1704, who really don't have any oversight, who are taxpayer funded, that sign up for these positions to protect and serve, but what they actually are is executioners. And honestly, I don't give a damn what defund the police or abolish sounds like. It's time to do that. Because if anybody believes that reform is possible with people that use Black faces as trigger practice and then go out and actually execute Black and brown bodies on a daily basis, we make up 13% of the national population. I'm going to quote Project Pat from Cheese and Dope, just one little sentence. Use a damn fool. It's not going to happen. There has to be accountability now.
It is always difficult, Greg, to play one of these videos, but it's also important for us as we deconstruct them. It is very difficult for mothers and fathers of Black teens. I've got two twin 16-year-old nieces in my house. Do not have nephews who are in my house. But I can tell you right now, it would be scary as hell. It would be scary as hell to every moment one of my Black nephews would leave the house. I mean, Natalie the boy left the house and was dead 4 minutes later.
Roland, this is the beautiful thing about life. Every moment we get to choose differently. And I know we were all thinking about it, listening to Congresswoman McBath and looking over her right shoulder, and you can see that picture of Jordan Davis, her son, back there. Erica's right. I mean, you're a damn fool. And I'm listening to Eric. I'm listening to you say something about your son. Mm-hmm. And we know that none of us are safe. So I'll just say this very quickly. I'm glad to hear Natalie Jackson. I certainly am confident that she not only knows the law, but is going to be in the street. To our brother Ben Crump, I would say this. We got a lot of lawyers, Roland, in the United States and in the world. And this isn't in any way a critique of Ben Crump, but there's a certain aesthetic of pleading. There's a certain aesthetic of kind of a kind of diminished capacity to exert ourselves that hardens in these narratives. You see the execution, then you see the pleading, then you see the idea of asserting some notion that there are some rules that are being played by. So let's set aside the kind of Crump universe. I'm just going to label it that. Again, not being critical of Ben Crump, but saying we've got to break out of this idea that there are rules. The sheriff there, shout out to Wayne Ivey, a real Klansman, who just defeated Alton Edmond, a brother who ran against him there in Brevard County, who was crushed. Wayne Ivey crushed him. Shout out to all the white nationalists in Brevard County who recognize that this isn't about the law. This is about your damn white nationalism. Wayne Ivey, a Trump supporter, who has made videos bragging, who has told citizens to arm themselves. Let's be very clear. I'll end with this. Florida has the death penalty. Mm-hmm. Japhet, Santiago, Miranda, the execution of Angelo Crooms and Sincere Pierce, should be given the death penalty.
Yeah.
And if Ben Crump doesn't call for the death penalty, I'm not talking about let's investigate. No, we all know what we saw.
Okay.
You know, we are heading toward the moment when Sheriff Ivey's admonition that we arm ourselves, we're going to finally hear it. And when we do, it will not be putting a car in reverse. I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. And I hope you understand what I'm saying. Ben Crump, let's hear you talk a little different this time, brother.
Reese.
Yeah. Like Erica said, this really doesn't get any easier. And I mean, you know, it should not be a death sentence to not get everything right, right? I mean, like, you know, it's not about following every rule. It's not about, you know, presenting yourself as being non-threatening. Even if they were threatening, even if they did every single thing wrong, there's no basis for executing these 2 young Black men for no damn reason. Like 4 minutes from leaving your home and you're dead is just, it's unconscionable. And so I think we have to, as a society, and I don't know if we'll get there, to be honest with you, but we have to change the standard. And that might sound naive. I'm sure it sounds probably naive to Erica and to Dr. Carr, but I think we do have to change the standard, at least in our society, that says that, you know, that civilians have to be perfect and cops can just be guns of the Navarone anytime that somebody doesn't, quote unquote, comply with their standards. As Ms. Hamilton stated, the cop was easily, you know, he was easily able to get away. And I always just wonder in cases like this, and even the case that we saw in Georgia at the believe it was a Wendy's, and I hate that I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now. But okay, if a person runs or if a person flees in the car, so what? You know, you have the license plate, you can track them down, or maybe you know.
That's what's so basic here. That's what's so basic here. You've got a license plate. License plate. And it's real simple. Y'all get away, don't worry about it. We gonna arrest you. Matter of fact, we got 2 cars. We will follow you.
We got to.
That's what always trips me out, is that it's always like
no, but these thugs, look, Reese, they mad as hell right now with Warnock trying to say he called police thugs. Damn it, you call folk thugs who act like thugs.
Mm-hmm.
These are Klansmen, Roland. Kelly Loeffler and Purdue formed a white nationalist Klan alliance after that clown Collins formed an alliance with her in the Senate. Purdue evoked God yesterday in this. This is the Klan. They don't look. They're not going to look for a way not to execute. That boy, that man who should be under the threat of a death penalty, Santiago Miranda, got out of that car with his gun. He was going to kill them when he came out the car. If the jury can't do it, damn it, somebody in the street is going to do it.
Now remember. Now remember.
Yes.
Now not only that, that particular officer also was arrested in April of this year for domestic violence. Why is he still on the streets?
Because that's Ivy's kind of me.
Why is he still on the streets? Was arrested in 2007 for a felony. It was expunged off his record. How is he even a cop?
Ivy, the sheriff of that county, has gotten praise for leading domestic violence initiative.
He was found, go to my iPad. He was found, this name is Japhet Santiago Miranda. He was found guilty. Records from the Osceola Clerk of Court show that in 2008, he was found guilty of burglary to a dwelling unarmed, as well as aggravated assault with a firearm. Then, according to, it says, it is not clear how Deputy Miranda was able to be hired as a Brevard County Sheriff's Deputy with those charges, but the name and date of birth are a match. Also, again, it's not clear if this was from the, it's not clear if he was disciplined for the domestic violence charges. In January 2019, he was recognized as Deputy of the Month. He is currently on paid administrative leave while the shooting is investigated. But to Greg's point, Sheriff Ivey has come out in his defense.
Those cops are commonplace. There are some good police officers, but damn it, when you hiding behind that badge, anybody puts that uniform on, puts that badge on, and stands up and back this boy right here, you're on the other team. We need to stop pretending. See, they're not shooting at people. They are shooting at animals. We are not human. They are trained. This is the point. And so this is going to stop when they realize that we respect our lives enough to take theirs if they threaten ours. I just hate to put it that way, but this isn't going to stop humanity. I don't want to hear no more press conferences in front of the sheriff's office talking about we want justice. And right. Forget Black Lives Matter. You know when people understand Black Lives Matter? When they understand that you'll take their life.
Yeah. This is what happens, though, Erica, when folks say that's vigilante. What happens when the response is an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth doesn't work? I mean, what we are dealing with, and again, you're going to hear, a few bad apples. But the problem is you got a guy with a felony arrest in 2008. His wife is a cop, was arrested for beating her in April of this year, and the sheriff is still defending him?
Of course. Roland, we have been in this country under vigilante law, right? And so, whenever people talk about free and fair elections and, some semblance of democracy, which I've used that language as well, that has not been, free and fair has not been the Black experience, not for us who built this damn country, where people have been able to profit beautifully off of Black labor. So, the few bad apples, that is a retired commentary. We have, as Dr. Carr has said, we have a clamor that has been activated. And they've been activated for quite some time. When you have a whole group of people that enforce laws based off of Black people who had freedom to make sure that freedom was largely rejected, then you have a corrupt system. It has to be abolished. It cannot be reformed. It has to be abolished. It has to be defunded. And it actually has to be what some would say reimagined. But you cannot undo what people believe is their right, which is, as Dr. Carr said, is to really take down the animal. That 3/5 compromise, that 3/5 clause, we're still that for a large population of people, and that cannot be undone. That is not the way that they see us. So until that there is some real action, until there is some real accountability, we're unfortunately going to see our sons, our daughters, our nieces, our nephews, mothers, fathers, uncles, people in our family headline, and sometimes not headline, but be executed at the hands of those people that, again, are supposed to be taxpayer-funded service, who go home, stay on administrative leave, they sleep lovely, they do interviews, and they still come back to work, or they go somewhere else to do the same type of execution work.
Final comment, Reese.
I don't have the answers. And I can't express any kind of faith in any kind of reforms, because at the end of the day, it's not about rules and regulations. It's about the lack of humanity in these people and the lack of humanity that they see in us. So I don't know. I don't have anything else to really add.
Folks, back to our Roland Unfiltered video in just one. Hey, folks at Seek.com, they're supporters of our show, and they have two fantastic products, this virtual reality headset right here and the 360-degree 4D headphones. With the virtual reality headset, if you want to watch the VR content on Seek.com or other 360-degree video, all you gotta do is just get one of these headsets, pop your phone right in, and you can actually be right in the room where the content was shot. It's really compelling. It's really compelling content there. One of the things that I also love about it is Ken, watching this video, people who've been hang gliding on roller coasters and things along those lines, and you literally feel like you're right there with them. They also have, of course, the headset, which you can use for gaming, for music, for videos, you name it. It's Bluetooth. Amazing sound, tremendous bass, and literally the sound goes all across your head. Mary Spio, a sister, she is the founder of this company. She actually also designed and created these products right here. If you want to get one, or both, or even subscribe to Seek.com and their VR content, simply use this promo code RMVIP2020, RMVIP2020, and you can do so. And so we certainly, again, appreciate them being partners with us here at Roland Martin Unfiltered.